The Texas sunrise is beautiful, painting the plains in gold, but beneath this tranquil scene, chaos reigns just out of sight. Once thriving farms now look like battlegrounds, fences torn apart, crops flattened and destroyed, the land scarred by relentless invaders. The culprit, not coyotes or wild hogs, but wild baboons, thousands of them, moving with purpose and cunning. These animals move in coordinated troops, stripping fields bare, raiding barns for anything edible, and even confronting people who try to stop them. This isn't a simple nuisance, it's a full-scale invasion, and it's changing life in rural Texas. The Lone Star State, long known for its resilience and grit, now faces a threat it never imagined, one that tests the resolve of even the toughest ranchers. Imagine waking to find your land ravaged, your animals terrified, your family afraid to step outside, unsure what the day will bring. These baboons aren't native. They're the result of decades of human mistakes, exotic pets and escapees that found freedom and multiplied. Now, they're thriving, multiplying and taking over vast stretches of countryside, pushing further every season.
It's like they're watching you, planning. You can feel their eyes on you, always one step ahead. You fix a fence, they find a new way in. No barrier seems to hold them for long. You set a trap, they warn each other, learning from every attempt to stop them.
The baboons adapt, learn, and show no fear of people or new obstacles. They test fences, stare you down, and outsmart every defense, as if challenging you to try harder. This is man versus an intelligent, relentless force of nature, a battle of wits and willpower. The fight for Texas has begun, and it's a fight for survival, for livelihoods, and for the future of the land. Every day, more land falls under siege as the baboons push deeper into the heart of Texas. The audacity and intelligence of these animals shock even the toughest Texans, forcing everyone to rethink what it means to defend their home. The battle lines are drawn, and the outcome is anything but certain. Each day brings new challenges and new strategies. Texas is under siege and the enemy is winning ground. The question now is, how long can the people hold out? How did African baboons end up ruling Texas? It sounds like the plot of a wild movie, but it's a true story, one that's stranger than fiction. It started 30 years ago in the heart of rural Texas when the unexpected began to unfold. Exotic pets were a fad. People wanted something wild and different. But as these animals grew up, they became unmanageable, dangerous, and were released into the wild by overwhelmed owners. At the same time, research labs closed, and baboons escaped through broken fences and neglected cages, slipping away into the Texas countryside. These weren't isolated incidents. Over the years, small groups slipped into the wild, unnoticed by most, blending into the landscape. Texas, with its hot climate, sprawling open land, and sparse population in some areas, was perfect for them to hide and survive. They found food everywhere, wild fruits, insects, and soon enough, crops from unsuspecting farmers' fields. Farms became buffets, and the baboons thrived, growing stronger and bolder with each passing season. Free from natural predators, their numbers grew fast, with each new generation more adapted to Texas. Coyotes couldn't stop them. The land was theirs for the taking, and they quickly learned to avoid danger. Small groups found each other, forming new troops and growing their numbers even more. For years they were mistaken for odd coyotes or dismissed as rumors. Strange sightings in the night, stories told over coffee. But they were breeding, learning, and spreading, becoming a hidden force in the Texas wild. The invasion was silent, but relentless, as baboons crept across fields and forests. By the time anyone noticed, it was too late. The baboons had already established themselves. A perfect storm of human carelessness, abandoned cages, and a welcoming environment set the stage for this wild takeover. Now, Texas faces the consequences. Communities are on edge, and farmers are desperate for solutions. The baboons are here to stay, and they're multiplying with no end in sight. The silent invasion has become an all-out war, and the story of Texas's wildest residents is only just beginning. The numbers are staggering. Millions of baboons now roam Texas. They've claimed territory from the hill country to West Texas, changing the ecosystem. Small towns are under siege. Troops of baboons walk Main Street in broad daylight. Schools run baboon drills. Playgrounds are empty, surrounded by fences.
Kids are taught to move indoors fast and never make eye contact.
The economic toll is massive, hundreds of millions lost each year. Baboons destroy crops, contaminate feed, and even attack livestock. Their intelligence makes them formidable. They open gates, unlatch windows, and post sentries. This isn't like dealing with deer or rabbits. It's a rival tribe. Farmers are losing ground every day. The menace is spreading, and the state is struggling to keep up. The baboons' social structure and adaptability make them nearly impossible to outsmart. Texas is in a fight for its land, its economy, and its way of life. The crisis is growing and solutions are in short supply. The scale of the invasion is unlike anything Texas has ever faced. The clock is ticking. For Texas farmers, every day is a battle, a struggle that begins before sunrise and doesn't end when the sun goes down.
Each morning I check fences, count animals, and brace for what's been destroyed overnight. We're not just farming anymore. We're defending our livelihoods, our families, and everything we've built.
Fear is constant. Parents keep kids inside, windows locked, always on alert for the next threat. Even walking to the barn is risky. Every shadow could hide danger. Baboons are unpredictable and strong, with teeth like leopards and the cunning to outsmart traps and barriers. People carry guns just to do chores, armed not by choice but by necessity. The freedom of rural life is gone, replaced by anxiety, exhaustion, and a sense of being under siege.
I haven't slept through the night in years. The worry never lets up. Every sound jolts me awake, rifle in hand, heart pounding, wondering if tonight's the night something breaks through.
The stress is breaking people, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Some sell their land and leave, refugees in their own state, forced out by a threat they never imagined. Those who stay turn their farms into fortresses, sharing info and strategies with neighbors, clinging to hope and community. It's an arms race against a relentless, intelligent enemy that adapts to every defense. Community is key. Farmers band together, but it often feels like a losing battle with no end in sight. The psychological toll is as heavy as the financial one, draining hope and resources alike. The front line is everywhere, and the war never ends. Not at the fence, not at the door, not even in your own mind. Texans are fighting for their homes, heritage, and way of life, refusing to give up. The enemy is relentless, and hope is in short supply, but the fight continues. Every day is a test of endurance, courage, and the will to keep going, no matter the odds. As the crisis grew, a new kind of hunter emerged. Professional controllers, not trophy seekers.
We use helicopters and high-tech gear to track baboon troops, guiding ground teams into position. It's a military-style operation, not a hunt.
The terrain is tough, and baboons are masters of camouflage. Night hunts use thermal scopes and night vision to find roosting troops.
They post sentries. If we don't take them out first, the troop scatters.
Every operation is tense and dangerous. A wounded baboon is a fierce opponent. The hunters must be precise. If any escape, they learn and become harder to catch. Even with all the tech, it's like emptying the ocean with a bucket. For every troop eliminated, more move in.
We're not solving the problem, just buying time for farmers.
The hunt is on, but the baboons are winning the numbers game. Hunters provide brief relief, but the invasion continues. The battle is relentless, and the solution remains elusive. Every night, the war resumes. The stakes are high, and the outcome is uncertain. Texas is fighting back, but the baboons aren't backing down. Farmers have turned their land into high-security compounds. Wooden fences are useless. Baboons climb or tear them apart. Now, chain link and electric fences are standard, but even these aren't foolproof.
The baboons test wires with sticks, always finding new ways in.
Technology is the next line of defense. Motion sensors, floodlights, sirens, even water cannons. But the baboons watch, learn, and adapt.
Guard dogs, big breeds like Kangals, are essential. They patrol in packs, barking to warn us and confronting baboons head-on. These dogs aren't pets. They're part of the security team.
The most effective defense is community. Farmers use radios and group chats to share troop sightings and coordinate defenses. Neighbors help reinforce fences and patrol fields. Solidarity is a powerful weapon against the invasion. Isolated, they'd be overwhelmed, but together, they fight back. The spirit of Texas is alive in their cooperation. The battle for the homestead is fought with grit, tech, and teamwork. The government's response was slow and ineffective. Initial trapping efforts failed. Baboons were too smart, and there was nowhere to relocate them.
Under pressure, the state launched a bounty program, Cash for Baboon Tails. At first, activity surged, but the program was plagued by problems and barely dented the population.
Official statements sound detached, full of committees and task forces. For farmers, these words ring hollow. They see bureaucracy, not action. The bounty is now seen as symbolic, not a real solution. The state declared baboons invasive, leaving landowners to fight alone. The burden falls on farmers with little support. The government is playing catch-up while the baboons keep spreading. The future of Texas hangs in the balance. If the baboon population keeps growing, agriculture could collapse, and food shortages loom. Ecological damage is mounting, with native species pushed out.
Some counties have declared emergencies, even considering military help. Life in the worst-hit areas resembles a war zone. Curfews, patrols, and nightly gunfire.
The social fabric is fraying. Fear and suspicion are everywhere. Children grow up with baboon drills instead of recess. If nothing changes, Texans may be confined to fortified towns, the countryside lost. The state's identity is at stake. The battle for Texas is reaching a critical point. The Texas baboon invasion is a lesson in unintended consequences. A few escaped pets and lab animals, plus a perfect environment, created a crisis. Now, Texas is fighting for its soul, farm by farm, day by day. Farmers, hunters, and officials all struggle against a relentless, intelligent enemy. No one is winning. The baboons are too many, too smart. Will Texas reclaim its land, or will the baboons write a new chapter in its history? The fight is primal, a battle for dominance, resources, and the future. The outcome is uncertain, but the struggle is fierce. This is Texas's last stand, a war for the wild. The world watches as the battle for Texas rages on.